This video introduces academic journals and the publication process, which represents the final step of the research process. The video concludes with a couple of attributes that a good researcher should bring with. So when writing a bachelor thesis or a master thesis, it is always a matter of drawing on existing literature, and the large number of journals is hardly manageable. In the field of business administration, we have about 700, 800 journals. Most of them can be borrowed from our library, or at least be viewed. Now the question is, where do you actually start searching? It is important to understand that these journals have different qualities, but also different foci. A few words about quality first. We typically have these journals in different rankings, which, so to speak, express the performance or quality of these journals. Typically, in our discipline, these are the ones that you find in the Financial Times. So if you Google Financial Times 50 list, you will find the leading journals in business and also in economics. As a result, articles in these journals are not always easy to read. They are methodically, theoretically quite demanding, and are also usually designed to cover a certain breadth. These journals do not necessarily specialize in one subject area, but try to represent the discipline at the highest level. The situation is different for journals that are lower in the ranking, but that deal with a specific topic. For example, a journal for online marketing, or a journal that only deals with retail issues. These journals may not have the same status and prestige as these Financial Times journals that we just discussed. However, they usually entail articles that give you an insight into the specific sub-discipline. So you can also consult these journals if you write about online marketing, retailing, and other specific subjects. It is always important that you do not take over everything that is written in such journals without reflection. Typically, of course, the higher the ranking, the more intensively the article has been reviewed, the fewer mistakes it contains, the more innovative it may be, and the more methodically demanding it is. But that does not mean that there can't be mistakes in it, that perhaps the relevance of the article is not particularly high. So please try to form your own opinion about this journal landscape. And always remember, there are these disciplinary or even multidisciplinary journals. There you will find the state of the art, so to speak. But you also have these journals focusing on a sub-discipline, which are more specific, which may not have the same scope, but which can certainly also be helpful for your research. In addition, every journal has its own website, on which the journal introduces itself. You can either be a reader, or if you want to submit there, you can be an author. It tells you exactly how an article has to come across, which spectrum it may cover. Sometimes a journal is even methodically characterized by the fact that it accepts only qualitative or only quantitative contributions. It is worth taking a look at the website, because this view gives an impression of what kind of research you can expect. This is certainly important for you to know in the context of your bachelor or your master thesis. What can I expect from this journal? What insights can I draw from the article published in this journal? If you take all this together and look at the people who contribute to these journals, you can imagine that perhaps you will one day be part of it, that certain values are needed. Above all, research needs enthusiasm. You have to go through a review process, and that can take 3 or 4 years with the top journals. I myself once needed almost 6 years to get an article in. Next, it needs open-mindedness. It needs knowledge of methods. It always needs common sense. Does it still make sense what we do at all? And in the run-up of it, certainly ideas are key. Creativity to be able to work out the good and intriguing topic. And in addition, we also need certain ethical standards when it comes to handling data. The evaluation must also be carried out according to a certain criteria. And that is why many journals have now switched to publishing datasets, so that every other researcher can reproduce datasets and can reproduce the findings, in order to achieve more transparency in the whole research process. This also has the advantage that you, as a student, can better understand what has been done and what kind of insight you can extract from the paper.